Halloween Ends is hopefully the final film in the new Halloween trilogy, although it probably isn't. According to the producer Jason Blum, Halloween Ends is supposed to complete the Blumhouse's productions deal for the franchise, with its rights then reverting back to the original producer, Malik Akkad, and will most likely give the rights to another studio sometime in the near future. Plus, Halloween Ends did really well in the box office, even with it being released on Peacock at the same time, so it's likely they'll make more at some point. Because people love seeing this crap. They just eat it up. Or maybe just no one has Peacock. As someone who has loved the Halloween movies growing up, not just as horror films, but as films in general, especially those first three, and I've even made a video covering those movies, let me just say that I'm grateful this new trilogy is over. The 2018 film just titled Halloween is an okay movie. I wasn't very positive on it when it came out, but there are some aspects of that film that I did really enjoy, such as Jamie Lee Curtis's performance, and also the musical score for the film, which John Carpenter came back to compose. And I thought that was awesome. Aside from that, I didn't find that movie all too memorable. And the last part of that film, when they set up the booby traps in the house and it becomes like Home Alone but with Michael Myers, is one of the silliest things this franchise has done. And that's really saying something when one of the films has Busta Rhymes kicking Michael Myers through a window. Halloween Kills is the second film in the trilogy. Evil dies tonight! But these new films, they've basically just made them into kill count movies, and what I mean by that is you're basically just watching the movies to see some funny deaths, which while it can be fun at times, that's never what this franchise has really been about, at least at first. The original Halloween from 1978 was not a kill count movie in the same way that these new ones are. The 1978 Halloween was more about the atmosphere. It isn't particularly a bloody or gory film. That's not what's memorable about those original movies. The comically gory deaths were always more of a Jason Voorhees thing from Friday the 13th. That was always a schlocky franchise even at the beginning, whereas Halloween was a bit more tasteful. And really the only purpose the characters serve in this film is to be predictably killed by Michael Myers, so every character is terribly written. It's obvious that Laurie Strode and her granddaughter are not going to be killed, so there's just nothing to be interested in throughout the entire duration of Halloween Kills. Mostly the film is Michael Myers running around killing random characters while we cut to Laurie Strode in a hospital doing nothing. Also, for such a gory film, I guess I'm giving something away about the ending of Halloween Kills, not like it matters, but Laurie Strode's daughter's death was really tame for some reason. Is that because they were actually developing that character and they didn't want the audience to be too disturbed? Maybe. I don't know why you wouldn't want the audience to be shocked by the death, but they just dialed that one back, I guess. It really doesn't need to be said, but the dialogue in the movie was terrible too. Evil dies tonight! 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 All right. Evil dies tonight! O'Doyle rules. The evil dies tonight thing, it's the most memorable part of the film basically, which is not a good thing because that line is really bad. It's supposed to be some comment on horde mentality, I guess. Well, that was really poorly executed. Overall, the movie is a fucking mess. Really, the only thing worth note about Halloween Kills are some of the death scenes, which can be entertaining, and the makeup effects are well done at times. The final movie, Halloween Ends, makes up for the previous film's shortcomings in some ways. In other ways, it's worse. I just really want them to stop and let this franchise go away so we can finance some more original horror movie ideas. I'm tired of watching the same shit. This series of movies is so inconsistent, and it feels like every movie the producers are scrambling to figure out where they want to take the franchise next. Each film feels so disconnected that they might as well be standalone movies, because there are so few threads that actually tie these movies together, that actually really matter. Whereas Halloween Kills is packed with deaths every 5 minutes, Halloween Ends has absolutely no deaths until an hour into the movie. Whereas Halloween Kills had too few scenes with Laurie Strode and too much Michael Myers, this film, Halloween Ends, has more scenes of Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode, but Michael Myers is also barely in it. I'm going to start giving away the story, so just be warned. This film introduces a new character named Corey Cunningham, who they set up to be the next Michael Myers. This is the third and final film, and they're introducing a major new character. If you've read other reviews for this film, you might have read that the opening scene of this new Halloween Ends movie is fairly good, and I'd agree with that. I like the opening. I could appreciate this movie was focusing on developing the characters for the first hour, and not just having constant scenes of Michael Myers killing people, since that's been done before. However, the writing of the characters, and especially the dialogue in this movie, was really fucking bad. I get they wanted to try something different, but this movie is way too slow. They also make the granddaughter character blame Laurie for her mother's death in the last movie.
Because of the hysteria that you caused when I trusted you, my friends are dead. My parents are dead.
The fact that she fell in love with Corey immediately and just doesn't pick up on the fact that he might be a weirdo who kills people also makes her character seem kind of dumb. For some reason, in this film, Laurie Strode becomes Michael Myers also. There's a scene she's talking to Corey and she just teleports out of the room. Since when could she disappear like that? I'm not nitpicking here. Nothing in this movie makes any sense. Corey has a controlling mother, and that storyline was just in the film Pearl as well, which is not only a better movie, but the payoff in that film Pearl was so much more satisfying and awesome than it was in Halloween Ends. The mother doesn't even die on screen in this movie. What you might have seen in the trailer is Michael Myers fighting Jamie Lee Curtis in the kitchen. If you've seen the trailer, you've basically seen that entire scene. That is a really short part at the tail end of the movie. The rest of the movie, he's hiding out in a sewer under a bridge. Most of the film is about Corey's transformation, which isn't interesting, and they just did a poor job of making me feel any sympathy for him. I guess I was supposed to feel sorry for him because he's being harassed by a group of one-dimensional bully characters. There's nothing else interesting going on in this movie, aside from watching people get killed in creative ways. The rest of the film was uneven, bloated, and painfully cliche. It was just so dull. It should be called Halloween Dull. The film ends with them tying Michael Myers to their car as everyone in town follows behind the car, and they just throw him in a grinder, which is the writer's way of saying, okay, he's definitely dead. That is until they reboot it again, of course. If only I could count how many horror franchises claim to be the end by putting some kind of word like final or whatever in the title, only to make more. There are a lot. There are some funny parts of this movie, just like the last one was funny with the whole Evil Dies Tonight thing.
Evil dies tonight! Evil dies tonight!
When Laurie Strode is about to be killed toward the end, her granddaughter comes in and says, "I can't let this happen to you."
I'm not gonna let this happen to you.
Oh, no way. You're not gonna let your grandmother get choked to death? Wow. There's a lot of other things that didn't work about the movie for me. The repetitive scenes of them on the motorcycle, the repetitive dialogue and the manuscript about the cherry blossoms, showing clips from the previous Halloween movies to artificially add a sense of weight and tension to the film. After watching these last two Halloween movies, I have some appreciation for that 2018 one, so I'm gonna give it a 3-star for now. It's either a 2.5 or a 3-star. I mean, at least it has Jamie Lee Curtis, and they were trying. Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends feel completely obligatory. Both of those are a 2 out of 5. I hate uninspired remakes of beloved movies. They're bringing nothing interesting or original to this franchise. They're just making these movies for money, and I wish they would actually end. But it won't. That is all. Happy Halloween.